Stop whatever you're doing for just 3 seconds and notice this. You're aware right now. You know you're hearing these words. You know you're sitting or standing. You know you're breathing. But here's the question that shattered the Buddha's entire reality and can shatter yours. Who exactly knows that you know? Who is aware of your awareness? This isn't a clever riddle or philosophical game. It's the most practical investigation you'll ever undertake, because hidden in this question is the key to ending psychological suffering forever. When the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree 2,500 years ago, he didn't find enlightenment by gaining something new. He found it by seeing through the cosmic illusion we all share, the belief that there's a solid, permanent someone experiencing life. Today, you're going to discover what he discovered, and it might just be the most liberating shock of your life. Part 1: The Merchant's Mirror, an ancient Buddhist story. The man who sold himself. In ancient India, there lived a wealthy merchant named Ananda, not the Buddha's disciple, who prided himself on his shrewd business sense. He owned caravans, ships, and warehouses full of precious goods. He would often say, "I am a self-made man. Everything I have, I created through my intelligence and effort." One day, while traveling to a distant city for trade, his caravan was attacked by bandits. They took everything, his gold, silk, spices, even his clothes. Left with nothing but a loincloth, Ananda wandered into the forest, devastated. "I've lost everything. My whole life's work, gone. Who am I without my wealth?" As night fell, he sought shelter in a cave where an old Buddhist monk was meditating. The monk opened his eyes and, seeing Ananda's distress, offered him water and some rice. Ananda poured out his story, ending with, "I've lost myself, Venerable One. Without my possessions, my business, my reputation, I don't know who I am." The monk smiled gently. "How interesting. You say you've lost yourself. Tell me, this self you've lost, where was it located? In your gold? In your silk? In your ships?" "No," Ananda replied, "those were just things I owned." "Then where was this self? In your body perhaps?" Ananda considered. "My body feels different every day, sometimes strong, sometimes weak, sometimes ill, sometimes healthy. It can't be my true self." "In your thoughts then?" "My thoughts change constantly. Happy thoughts, sad thoughts, business thoughts, they come and go like clouds." "Then where, merchant, was this self you claim to have lost?" Ananda fell silent, pondering. The monk continued, "Let me tell you what happened. You never lost yourself because you never had a self to lose. What you lost was a story. I am Ananda, the successful merchant. Now that the story is gone, and you think you've disappeared. But look, who is sitting here talking with me? Who feels this sadness? Who is aware of having lost everything?" "I am," Ananda replied automatically, then caught himself. "But wait, if I'm not my possessions, my body, or my thoughts, then who is this I, who is aware?" "Excellent question," the monk exclaimed. "Look for this I, right now, turn your attention inward and find the one who is aware. What do you discover?" Ananda closed his eyes and searched. He looked for the observer, the witness, the one who was aware. Minutes passed. Finally, he opened his eyes with a startled expression. "Venerable One, I cannot find anyone. There's awareness, there's knowing, but I cannot locate a knower. It's like trying to bite my own teeth or see my own eyes without a mirror." "And yet," the monk said softly, "knowing continues, doesn't it? Awareness is present, yes. Yes. But without a center, without a location, without me. The monk laughed. Now you're beginning to see what the Buddha saw. You haven't lost yourself, you've lost the illusion of self. And that, merchant, is the beginning of true wealth. Ananda stayed with the monk for several months, investigating this discovery. Gradually, the tight knot of I, me, mine loosened. He still remembered his past, still had preferences and skills, but the desperate grasping at a fixed identity dissolved. When he eventually returned to his city, he discovered something remarkable. His chief assistant had managed to save part of the business and rebuild. His wealth began returning. But now Ananda's relationship to it was completely different. Before, he told his assistant, I thought I owned all this, that it made me who I was. Now I see it's just circumstances flowing, money comes, money goes, but what I truly am neither increases nor decreases. The awareness that witnesses gain is the same awareness that witnesses loss. That awareness has no owner. His assistant was puzzled. But master, if you don't own the business, who does? Ananda smiled. The business owns itself, runs itself according to causes and conditions. Ananda is just a convenient label, a functional designation. I play the role of merchant, but I'm no longer imprisoned by it. And that freedom, my friend, is worth more than all the gold in India. Part 2, Michael's Emergency Room Awakening, a modern account. The surgeon who lost his hands. Dr. Michael Torres was one of Boston's most celebrated neurosurgeons. His identity was completely wrapped up in his precise hands, his brilliant mind, and his ability to save lives. I am my skills, he would often think. Without my surgical ability, who would I be? Then came the morning that changed everything. Michael was preparing for a complex brain surgery when he noticed a slight tremor in his right hand. He dismissed it as too much coffee. But during the operation, the tremor worsened. His assistant had to take over. Tests revealed early-onset Parkinson's disease. At 48, his surgical career was over. The depression that followed was crushing. Michael spent days in his study, staring at his trembling hands, thinking, this is not my life. This can't be happening to me. But the deeper thought that tortured him was, if I'm not a surgeon, who am I? One day, his daughter brought him to her meditation class, insisting it might help with the depression. The teacher, a former physicist turned Buddhist practitioner, began with an unusual instruction, everyone, hold up your right hand. Now look at it. Really look. Is this your hand? Or is it just a hand that you call yours? What makes it yours exactly? Michael stared at his trembling hand. The teacher continued, now notice, you're aware of your hand. You can observe it, which means you're not it. You're the observer. Now here's the real question. Can you observe the observer? Can you be aware of the one who's aware? Michael tried to turn his attention back on himself, to catch the watcher. Something strange happened. His sense of being located behind his eyes, of being a viewer inside his head, suddenly felt arbitrary, just another sensation arising in what? In awareness itself, which seemed to have no location, no boundary, no center where Michael lived. I can't find myself, he blurted out, surprised. The teacher smiled. Who can't find whom? The question short-circuited Michael's mind. If there was no findable self, who was looking for it? The seeker and the sought collapsed into each other, leaving just this. Awareness. Knowing. No owner required. Over the following weeks, Michael practiced this investigation obsessively. He'd sit for hours asking, who is aware? Who is thinking? Who is experiencing this tremor? Each time, he found only the experience itself, no experiencer. One morning, while watching his hand shake, something profound shifted. Instead of, my hand is shaking, there was just, shaking happening. Instead of, I have Parkinson's, just, these symptoms are present. The identification with the disease, the story of, poor me, simply wasn't there. His wife noticed the change immediately. You seem, lighter. Are you in denial about your condition? No, Michael replied. The condition is here, the challenges are real. But I've stopped believing I'm the one who has them. It sounds crazy, but there's just experience experiencing itself. The story of Michael Torres, a tragic figure who lost everything, that's just thought-created fiction. When I don't buy into it, there's just this moment, just what's happening, and it's surprisingly okay. He began teaching meditation to other doctors dealing with burnout and identity crises. We think we are our roles, our skills, our achievements, he'd tell them. But watch, who remains aware when all that changes? That awareness isn't touched by gain or loss. Find out what you are beyond your professional identity, and you'll find unshakable peace. Part 3. The Buddha's Direct Method. The Aggregate Investigation. The Buddha's approach to revealing no self was brilliantly systematic. He divided human experience into 5 categories, aggregates, and showed that none of them constituted a permanent self. 1. Form, body. Are you your body? But the body changes constantly. The body you have now shares no cells with the body you had 7 years ago. If you were your body, you would have ceased to exist many times over. 2. Sensation, feelings. Are you your feelings? But feelings arise and pass like waves. Pleasure, pain, neutral sensations, they flow through awareness. You observe them, so you must be the observer, not the observed. 3. Perception, recognition. Are you your perceptions? But perceptions can be wrong. You see a rope and perceive a snake. You see a mirage and perceive water. If you were your perceptions, you would be constantly becoming false things. 4. Mental formations, thoughts, emotions. Are you your thoughts? But you can watch thoughts arise from nowhere and dissolve into nothing. You don't control them. Try not thinking of a pink elephant. The observer of thoughts cannot be the thoughts themselves. 5. Consciousness, awareness. Are you consciousness itself then? But consciousness arises dependent on conditions. Eye consciousness from eye and form meeting, ear consciousness from ear and sound meeting. What remains when all sense consciousnesses cease, as in deep sleep? The fire and fuel analogy. The Buddha often used fire to explain consciousness. When fire burns, monks, is the fire stored somewhere before it burns? Is it in the wood? In the match? In the air? And when fire goes out, where does it go? North? South? East? West? No, Lord, the monks would reply. Fire arises when conditions meet and ceases when conditions separate. Just so, the Buddha would say, consciousness is not a thing but a process. It arises when the sense organ meets the sense object. The sense of self is like the appearance of fire, convincing while conditions last, but without permanent essence. This wasn't philosophical speculation for the Buddha. He had directly observed this in meditation, watching consciousness arise and pass thousands of times, never finding a permanent observer, only the process of observing. Part 4, The Practice, 3 Direct Methods. Method 1, The Headless Way. This modern approach, developed by Douglas Harding and aligned with Buddhist insight, uses simple experiments. Point at a distant object. Notice it has color, shape, and boundaries. Now point at your foot, again, color, shape, boundaries. Point at your chest, same thing. Now point at where others see your head, at what you're looking out of. What do you find? Most people discover an astonishing absence, no head, no face, just open awareness containing everything else. You can't see your own head without a mirror because you're looking out of space, the capacity for the world. This isn't a clever trick. It's pointing to your true nature. What you are is not a thing among things but the awareness in which all things appear. Michael practiced this during his medical consultations. While talking with patients, I'd notice, from my perspective, there's no Michael here, just this open awareness meeting with another person. The conversation flowed better without me getting in the way. Method 2, The Who Am I? Investigation. This method, refined by the sage Ramana Maharshi but rooted in Buddhist inquiry, ask yourself, who am I? Reject all answers that refer to anything observable. I am Michael, but that's just a name. I am a doctor, but that's just a role. I am a man, but that's just a body type. I am consciousness, but who is aware of consciousness? Keep going back. Who wants to know who I am? Who is asking these questions? Who is aware of asking? Eventually, the mind stops, unable to go further. In that stopping, in that gap between thoughts, awareness remains, clear and present, but without anyone to claim it. This is what you are, the unknowable knower, the unseeable seer, the unthinkable thinker. Method 3, The Moment-to-Moment Dissolution. Throughout the day, practice catching the formation of self. You're walking peacefully, no thought of self. Then someone calls your name. Watch how you suddenly crystallize into existence. The body tenses slightly, the face arranges itself, the personality activates. But what was there the moment before the name was called? Just walking, just awareness, no walker required. Or notice when you wake from deep sleep. For a split second, there's awareness without identity. Then memory rushes in, I'm Michael, I'm in Boston, I have Parkinson's. Watch that construction happen. See how the self is built fresh each morning from memory and thought. Imagine you're in the middle of typing at work, and suddenly you pause to look, who's typing? For a split second, there are just fingers moving on their own, words popping up on the screen, no you anywhere in sight. Then a thought rushes in and claims it, oh, I'm the one doing this. But you've already caught that gap. You know the I is just tacked on afterward. Part 5, When the Bottom Falls Out. The Fear and the Freedom. When people first glimpse no self, reactions vary wildly. Some feel liberation, others terror. Dr. Torres describes his experience. For about 3 days after that first recognition, I was disoriented. I'd look in the mirror and think, who is that? I'd hear my name and wonder who they were calling. It wasn't dissociation, I was fully functional, maybe more present than ever. But the automatic identification with Michael Torres was broken. The fear was, if I'm not Michael, will I forget my responsibilities? Will I abandon my family? But the opposite happened. Without the constant self-concern, how am I doing? What do people think of me? Am I good enough? There was more energy available for genuine care. I could be with my family without the story of disabled father getting in the way. The ego's comeback strategies. The sense of self doesn't give up easily. It has survival strategies. The spiritual ego, I'm someone who has seen through ego. This is just ego wearing a new mask. True recognition of no self is humble, ordinary, not special. The nihilist ego, nothing matters because there's no self. This is ego using the teaching to avoid responsibility. When you truly see no self, everything matters because it's all one movement. The checking ego, constantly checking, am I enlightened now? Is the self gone? This checking is the self, trying to manage its own disappearance. The key is to see these strategies as they arise, without judgment. They're just more patterns in awareness, more weather passing through the sky of consciousness. Part 6, Living the Understanding. Relationships without walls. When the illusion of being a separate self weakens, relationships transform dramatically. Michael describes the change with his wife. Before, Michael was trying to relate to Patricia, two separate entities attempting connection across a gap. Now, in our best moments, there's just relating happening. The walls come down. I can feel her joy or pain directly because the boundary between her feelings and my awareness of them dissolves. This isn't codependence, it's clearer than that. It's recognizing that the same awareness looks out through both pairs of eyes. The surface personalities are different, but the depth is the same. His wife confirms, he listens differently now. Before, even when he was trying to be present, there was always this subtle feeling that he was preparing his response, protecting his position. Now he just receives what I'm saying, completely. It's like talking to space, in the best way possible. The paradox of no self is that action becomes more efficient, not less. Without the friction of self-consciousness, life flows smoothly. Michael now teaches and consults. When I give a lecture, no, Michael is giving it. Words arise from silence, responding to the moment's need. If someone asks a question, the answer appears without me formulating it. It's like the knowledge is available in the field, and this mouth and brain are just instruments it plays through. The strange thing is, the lectures are better now. Without self-concern, there's just the subject matter and the student's needs. The right examples arise spontaneously. The timing is natural. It's teaching without a teacher. Part 7, The Science of Selflessness. The Default Mode Network Studies. Dr. Judson Brewer at Yale has extensively studied what happens in the brain during experiences of no self. His findings are remarkable. The posterior cingulate cortex, PCC, a key hub in the default mode network responsible for self-referential processing, shows dramatically decreased activity during moments of selflessness. This happens whether induced by meditation, psychedelics, or spontaneous recognition. What we're seeing, Dr. Brewer explains, is that the self is literally a pattern of brain activity, not a thing. When that pattern relaxes, people report increased well-being, decreased anxiety, and paradoxically, improved performance. The self appears to be a burden, not a necessity. The prediction error theory. Neuroscientist Anil Seth proposes that the self is a controlled hallucination, the brain's best guess about what's causing sensory input. Just as the brain predicts a coffee cup from certain visual data, it predicts a self from the stream of experience. But this prediction can be wrong. In meditation, psychedelic states, or spontaneous awakenings, the prediction fails, and people discover that experience continues perfectly well without a self to have it. The brain's model updates. Oh, the self was just a useful fiction, not a necessity. Part 8. Your direct exploration begins now. The immediate experiment. Now try this. Hold your hand in front of your face. Look at it for 5 seconds. Now, without moving your eyes from your hand, become aware of the space around your hand, the periphery of your vision. Now, become aware of the awareness itself that sees both hand and space. Where is this awareness located? Does it have edges? Does it have a center where you live? If you really looked, you discovered something remarkable. Awareness has no findable characteristics, no location, no boundaries, yet it's undeniably present, knowing everything that arises within it. For the next week, carry this question like a compass. Who is aware right now? Not as philosophy but as direct looking. While eating breakfast, who tastes? While stuck in traffic, who is frustrated? While falling asleep, who is getting drowsy? Don't accept the habitual answer, I am. Look for this, I. What's it made of? Where exactly is it? Can you touch it, see it, locate it? Or is it just a thought, a feeling, an assumption you've never questioned? Michael shares his practice. Every morning while shaving, I look in the mirror and ask, who is looking? I see the face, but I can't find the one who sees. It's become a daily reminder that Michael is just an appearance in awareness, not what I fundamentally am. Part 9. Integration and Embodiment. The Ordinary Sage. True understanding of no-self doesn't make you special or strange. You become more ordinary, not less. The awakened person looks like everyone else, acts normally, and fulfills responsibilities. The only difference is the absence of psychological suffering that comes from defending an illusory self. A Zen saying captures this: before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The actions remain the same, only the false sense of a separate actor dissolves. Michael embodies this. I still take my medication, do my exercises, deal with Parkinson's symptoms. But without the story, this shouldn't be happening to me. There's just what's needed in each moment. The disease is here, but suffering is optional. When you no longer believe you're separate from others, compassion arises naturally. It's not a moral decision but a recognition. Hurting others is literally hurting yourself. Helping others is helping yourself, because there's only one awareness appearing as many. Michael discovered this in his support group. When someone shares their struggle, I don't think that's their problem. I feel it directly, as if the same awareness is experiencing different content through different bodies. Their pain is as immediate as my pain because the boundaries are conceptual, not real. The pathless path home. The ultimate paradox. Here's the cosmic joke. You're seeking something you already are. You're trying to become what you cannot not be. It's like waves seeking water, or the sun looking for light. It is the awareness of hearing these words right now. That's what you're looking for. You are what you seek. The Buddha's great insight wasn't gaining something new but recognizing what was always already here. Under the Bodhi tree, he didn't become enlightened. He realized he had always been enlightened, just temporarily confused about his true nature. The never-ending discovery. Understanding the concept of no-self isn't a one-time event, but rather an ongoing recognition. Some days the illusion of separation seems solid, other days it's transparent. This is natural. The truth doesn't depend on your experience of it. Awareness remains selfless whether you notice it or not. A final story: a student asked a master, "I've glimpsed no self, but the ego keeps returning. What should I do?" The master replied, "Let it come and go like clouds in the sky. You are the sky, vast, open, untouched by any weather. Clouds don't damage the sky by appearing, and they don't improve it by leaving. Rest as the sky, and let the weather of selfhood pass through as it will. Your journey continues." This exploration of who is aware of awareness isn't meant to provide answers, but to point you toward your own direct discovery. The Buddha's final instruction was, "Be a lamp unto yourself." Don't take anyone's word for truth, investigate your own experience. Right now, in this very moment, you're aware. This awareness, before it's claimed by thought as, "my awareness," what is it? Who does it belong to? Where does it begin and end? These aren't questions to think about but invitations to look directly at what you are beyond all concepts and beliefs. What you discover there, in the heart of your own being, is what every sage and mystic has pointed to: the freedom of being no one, the joy of being everything, the peace of being exactly what you are. Join us next week on Buddha Coha as we explore how this understanding transforms daily challenges into opportunities for awakening. Subscribe now and remember, you're not on a journey to somewhere else, you're recognizing where you've always been. The one who begins listening and the one who finishes listening, are they the same? Are they different? Or is there just awareness, playing the game of remembering what it never actually forgot? May all beings recognize their true nature beyond the illusion of self. May all beings find the peace that comes from being no one special. May all beings rest in the awareness they are. Thank you for joining this exploration. Share this with anyone ready to question the ultimate question. Until next time, rest in what you are, and be at peace.